In the walls of Meetropolis City, there's a moral plague that's so not pretty, where crime is rife and fear exceeds so well. Is there no escape from this rotten hell? Murder, arson, theft and indecency, foul deeds occur in greater frequency. Who will put an end to this tragic blight? Who will end darkness and bring forth the light? It's time to stand up and save each district. I'm hungry now and require a biscuit. Today we're looking at Mutant Meeples. Mutant Meeples is a speed puzzle game for 2 to 7 players, where everyone is trying to get to the scene of a crime before anybody else. In the game, players are going to be opening up their lateral thinking skills and taking control of a superhero posse, trying to get to a specific coordinate before anybody else can in the fewest moves possible. Now, for me to carry on explaining this, I need the game set up, and there's too many bits. I thought I'd have it done by now, but don't worry. With the superpower of editing, I can make that transition absolutely seamless. Superpower! Activate! Now we have the board set up, all the heroes are in their starting places. We begin a round by flipping over a couple of these tokens. These letters are going to act as a grid reference to help us find the perilous place that we need to get to. Think like battleship, really, here. Then everyone is going to assume control of all of the superheroes, trying to get one of them to land on the exact spot. You can't pass through it. You must end your turn and land on it. The only problem is, like all superheroes, they share a curse. And this curse is that they can only move in straight lines, and they keep going. They can only stop to change direction if they hit an obstacle, like a wall, or another hero, or the city limits. So your heroes are going to be bouncing around the city in really impractical ways, in a manner of which that's trying to confuse the wrongdoers. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. That's right. Oh yeah. Oh, you wait there. Okay, hold on. I'm coming for you. Yes, I am. Ho, you better believe it. I'm gonna get you. Ha ha. Ha ha. That's it. I have you now. Ha ha. Crime doesn't pay. Hold on. Wait there. I'm coming. Don't you worry. I'll get you. Yeah. Ha ha. That's it. Yes. Ha. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait there. Oh, you better believe I'm gonna take you to jail. I am. Ha ha. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thanks for waiting. When someone has found a route to the spot marked X, they're going to take the coloured hero that they worked it out with and work out the number of moves it took them in order to get there. So I might take the number 4 here, because I can get the yellow guy to move there in 4 moves. When I've done that, I flip the timer over, and everybody else then resigns themselves into panic as they try to get to that location in a faster amount of moves, or just even trying to find a correct solution in the hopes that I might have ballsed it up. When the timer runs out, then it's time to prove it. So I said 4 moves. I get him to go across 1, 2, 3, 4. Landed on it perfectly. Happy days. This yellow guy now becomes part of my roster. I flip him over to the ticked side there. However, all these superheroes act as mercenaries, really. They don't really have any kind of allegiance, because anyone can use them even if they've already joined a team. Once a round is over, you draw up another couple of coordinates at random, place your target and play out the round as you did before. Just wash, rinse and repeat. The only difference being that when you earn those heroes to your roster, you're no longer allowed to use them for the duration of the game. Thus a kind of catch-up mechanic emerges, because the person who's out in front, they're going to be restricted because they've got fewer options, much less choices that they're able to utilise in order to get to the target. Also, if you are leading a solution and you gave a false call, you don't actually end up on the target, then the game penalises you and you're going to have to return one of your heroes back to the game. The first person to scramble a squad of 6 Super Sallies wins the game. But hold on to your hats, folks, because with each hero comes their very own unique super power. Covered in blue, we have the blue beamer, who when he goes onto one of these blue spots, he can teleport to another blue spot anywhere on the board. And then there's old Mr. Shortstop. He can apply the brakes and stop one space before another meeple or a building. Or how about Forest Jump, where life is like jumping over 2 spaces. He can jump over 2 spaces, including walls. Or you can be cursed, like MC Edge, who can warp to the opposite side of the board when he reaches the edge of the city, forever trapped in the confines of this place, doomed never to be able to explore the wonders beyond the city limits, his friends constantly mocking him by sending him their holiday snaps. Now, if you're really fancy at these kinds of puzzles, then you can be a bit of a pull shark, pulling off combination shots. You can send out other heroes to then act as obstacles, those pillars for other heroes to then use. Now, these moves can be a little bit ungainly, because the more heroes that you use, the more it's going to be adding to your move total. However, they can be quite fruitful, though, if nobody else is able to find a plausible route. And that's how you play Mutant Meeples. Quite straightforward, really, just moving in straight lines, trying to solve the puzzle faster than anybody else. Now, I consider this to be a bit of a Marmite game. If you enjoy puzzle solving, which I do, then you'll love this game, which I do. However, if you're someone who doesn't spend their free time solving brain teasers like a normal person because you've got other things to be getting on with your life, then you're probably not going to enjoy this game. So it is a little bit polarising there. Now, another thing as well is, if you do play this game, you're going to want to play with a group of like-minded people, those who are all into this kind of genre, because this game's outcome is really defined by the player's skill levels. And more often than not, whoever's best at solving these kinds of puzzles is going to be the victor. Now, Mutant Meeples offers up heaps of variety to ensure that no 2 games of this are ever going to be the same. The starting positions of your heroes are always going to be in a randomised order, ensuring you have a different setup each time. That not enough? Well, why not flip the board over to Meatville? You've got another map here with less walls to it, less buildings, making your time that much trickier. Still not enough? Well, how about the Mit-Erweiterung, the expansion, the sidekick expansion that offers up 2 extra little guys that you can add to your roster, thus changing up all the different combinations of mutants that you can have in your game. Still not enough? Well, how about some tiles that you can add to the board as well, that can add walls or change walls or get rid of walls altogether, creating your maps to be different every single time. Still not enough? Well, now you're just being greedy. Even though I love this game, it does have its faults. The first being the randomness of the locations. Now, sometimes you get a really nice, tasty challenge that you have a great sense of accomplishment if you're able to solve it. Other times, however, the solutions are ridiculously easy. And it's very frustrating if it's being able to be solved from a hero that is already in your lineup and somebody else comes along and takes it. What's even more frustrating than that is if that was the solution that somebody needed in order to win the game. So I suggest implementing a house rule that prevents anyone being able to win the game in exactly one move. Now the box says it can accommodate up to 7 players. This is utterly ridiculous, and I recommend that you never play it with more than 4 of you. Unless if you're playing with like a grandmaster and you need to handicap them. The reason behind this is that each player needs to sit at the table completely perpendicular to the board. Any kind of skewed angle that you're sat at, and then you're going to be having a really tricky time. This is the reason that screen implementations of these kinds of puzzle games always have you looking from above directly down at the board. If you're sat at a skewed angle, then you're going to be reaching for those headache tablets. I strongly suggest that you give each player pen and paper to write down their answers. This is because our brains can only hold a finite amount of mundane information, and our short-term memory banks doesn't like to keep hold of it for long. It decays rather quickly. So say for example you find the solution to a problem in 14 moves. You flip the sand timer over and let everybody else try to solve it. Only time ebbs away and it starts to tick away that much more slower than you thought, especially as everyone drastically and desperately tries to solve it and inevitably they can't, only for their eyes to then all be looking at you, because now it's showtime. Okay, 14 moves. Okay, right. Here goes. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I can do this. I can. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You. Go on the spot. just go on the spot. Trust me, I did. I did it. I did. Is that Benjamin Netanyahu? 14! That's disgusting. Our brains simply aren't wired to be able to memorise such long sequences and then be able to recall them. The challenge is further compounded by the delay that the game puts on you. You find a solution, then you have to flip the timer and wait for permission to be able to recite it. Got it. Right. Right, come on John. You can remember this sequence. Remember, it's left, down, right, back up, across again, down. And yeah, that's it. You got it. Oh yeah, you're so good. You're the best. You're so handsome. Oh look, a bee. Oh bees. Oh, they're funny. Where they shake their caboose. Oh, the little waggle dance. Look at me finding the nectar. Yeah. Right. Here it is. Caboose! Oh, fuck. You go from feeling utterly majestic, being the only person to have found a viable solution, to being a bit of a muddled mess as your noggin stops you from remembering every precise detail. For this mistake, the game then punishes you. It incurs a penalty upon you, which is really disheartening because it teaches us that we shouldn't be taking risks. All the other players that didn't solve the problem, they're not rewarded, nor are they punished. However, the person who took that risk is punished, and that is bad because it teaches us that we shouldn't be taking challenges. It teaches us that you should just not even bother trying. It teaches us that when we're presented with a problem, we should just give up rather than using all of our cognitive abilities to try to solve the problem. Now, to fix this, we can do one of two things. You can get rid of that penalty rule altogether, however, that opens it up to be exploited, or Give players a pen and paper, and that way it is negated and you encourage risk-taking. So that was Mutant Meeples. Not much else to say other than to talk about the components. I mean, the meeples are really nice, different colours. They also come with stickers as well, so you can differentiate them, work out their symbols, so really helpful as well if you are colourblind. The board is really drab, but importantly it's functional. I mean, if it was too busy and pretty, it would detract you from being able to try to solve those challenges. Each player as well gets one of these helpful guides that has all of the meeples on there and their unique abilities as well, which is really, really important and very good that there's enough of them for every single player. The only issue is that if you do play with the characters from the expansion, they're not included in the player aids, so you're going to have to try to remember what their abilities are. But I really enjoy this game. I think from your preconceptions you can decide easily actually whether this game is suitable for you or not. If it is for you, do tread carefully though, because you're going to need to think about your group, the people you play with, because they've got to be interested in it as well. Other than that, well, thank you very much for watching. I've been John, the board game chap. What are your favourite puzzle games? Let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, happy gaming and cheerio!